The showcase of the best players in the NFL is coming up as we celebrate the latest edition of the Pro Bowl. The stars of the AFC and NFC are ready to shine. Next on EA Sports.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. For years, the NFL's best received a trip to Honolulu or Orlando for their efforts, but now they get a trip to Vegas as EA Sports welcomes you to Allegiant Stadium here in Southern Nevada. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, it's the Pro Bowl. You never really know what to expect, so I guess I'll ask you, what do you expect?
Well, in recent years, it has turned into an absolute offensive explosion, hasn't it? Games in the 50s are not out of line.
The best players the NFL has to offer on one stage. The AFC NFC Pro Bowl underway here in Vegas. And he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. So out comes the NFC for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the former Cal Bear, Aaron Rodgers.
There have been very few quarterbacks in the NFL who have been as consistent throughout their career as Aaron Rodgers. He's been good for so long, and we've seen no decline in his skills. His accuracy and arm strength continue to elevate the talent around him, and his in-game mistakes, few and far between.
Oh, he's going to air it out right away. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in. So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line. Cook now off the read option. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And that will be incomplete. The veteran Stephon Gilmore able to break that one up. Jack Fox out to punt here on 4th down. Back deep here, Andre Roberts. Good open field tackling there. A 50-yard punt followed by just a 1-yard return. And the AFC will take over 1st and 10. So here comes the AFC for their opening drive. Leading this unit will be the big arm man out of Texas Tech. 10th pick in the 2017 draft, Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes in the AFC now with a 1st and 10 at their own 22. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Out to his left. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead, he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir. Able to turn that into a positive gain. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Derrick Henry. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
And he cannot get rid of it. The NFC getting in there for the sack. Aaron Donald able to collapse the pocket, get to him, and drop him for a loss of a yard. We were wondering what they would do defensively to disrupt Patrick Mahomes. Sacking him on the first drive, that's a really good way to set a tone.
The last thing you want to do is let him get established in the pocket where he can set his feet and throw wherever he wants to, even though he does it well.
And it's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. And he will bring it out past the 20-yard line. Well, certainly not how he wanted to start his night. First throw of the game, an INT.
Yeah, it's not easy, but he's got to try to wipe that one away from the memory banks. And let's face it, it's not often a quarterback and a defensive back have a lot in common. But one thing, because they have these individual type plays, they've got to have short memories, don't they? DB gets beat, wipe it away, quarterback throws a pick, has to do the same thing.
So now we'll get our second look in this game at the NFC offense. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
From the 27, Rodgers. That's to Dalvin Cook, his running back. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Rodgers now on first down. And that one is incomplete. And it also concludes quarter number one. No score after one on EA Sports. The NFC with the football here to begin the second quarter. As they've got it with a 2nd and 10. Handoff comes to Cook. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on third down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
That's complete to Justin Jefferson. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Rodgers now on first down. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down. To throw on 2nd and 10. Rodgers into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And he's able to bring it out 5 yards shy of midfield to the 45-yard line.
Well, this had trouble written all over from the start. He's got 2 extra defensive backs in the game he's got to deal with. They're in a dime set. So everywhere he's looking, he's seeing a different color jersey. And sure enough, this one winds up being intercepted.
So now the AFC offense here coming back out for their second drive. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at second down. A toss right to Henry. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. Give him a loss of 6 yards, and it brings up third down. 2 minutes on the clock in what's been a scoreless first half. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll check in with our Jonathan Coachman. He'll have highlights and analysis of the first half, and our highlights will likely be on the defensive side of the football here. Scoreless game. Now the NFC going to call the first of their 3 timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. The AFC punt team out there now as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the NFC offense set to take over again. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they do the interception and finish off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. And that is incomplete. Well, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Rodgers now to throw. And his throw is incomplete.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but felt incomplete. Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd. Here's Jack Fox now. The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's 4th down. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the AFC will have it 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. The AFC going to get the football here late in this first half as they take over with exactly 1 minute to go. On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. And way up past the 35 before. Now the AFC going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Working from the gun, Mahomes. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. That time, shooting in there to get him to the ground. Now the AFC going to take a timeout. It's their 2nd as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. To throw, it's Mahomes. Going deep for Diggs. This is intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. If you're a lover of offense, this has not been the half for you thus far. Luckily for me, though, I'm sitting next to a lover of defense, and we have had plenty of that, including that interception.
Yeah, and I mean, that still makes it a great game, doesn't it? Everybody talks about if the ball's not in the end zone and points going up on the board, it's not as much fun. I love these defensive battles. Something's got to give with these turnovers. Who can convert them into points?
So after the INT, it's Rodgers. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. He's been the forgotten man in this first half. Not a guy you want to forget. Not only his first catch, first time they've targeted him.
That doesn't make any sense, does it?
Not
because those are the types of plays that he provides. When he does come alive, when they do look his way, not only is it a big catch, it's a first down.
So plenty of action on the field, but no action right now on the scoreboard, at least as of yet. 0-0 is our score. As we are off to Orlando now to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
First, though, let's get a check on the Nextgen stats from that first half for the AFC. And you can see their quarterback was able to have some success when he tucked the ball down and ran with it. That might not be a priority going forward, but it's something that opposing defense is going to have to be wary of. Meanwhile, for the NFC, here's a look at their numbers throwing the football in what was a very even first half.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. After a rare scoreless first half, these teams now just looking for something as the second half gets underway. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. Patrick Mahomes on his way out for their next drive. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say, want to get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little, kind of laugh and chuckle and let it go.
He'll hope to respond positively here to start the third quarter.
Well, as a wideout, when you take that handoff and you're coming around the edge, you're expecting to see nothing but empty space in front of you. But if not...
Well, things can go south in a hurry, and that's exactly what we saw on that play with a loss. On 2nd and 11 now, Mahomes. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Aaron Donald able to drop him that time for his second sack of the evening.
We are seeing two really confident defenses imposing their will on these offenses in this game.
Yeah, absolutely, going toe for toe. Just curious if one of these offenses can wake up a little bit.
Is there any way they can find something that can pop, something big to knock them back on their heels?
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And going deep for Hill. And Mahomes misfires again, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Now the NFC heading out for their first drive of the second half. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys are tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments. From the 27, Rodgers setting up the screen for Cook. So the screen good for only 2. Now it's 3rd down.
Boy, that one was well read defensively. And this is all about diagnosis as a safety and being decisive, because he saw it setting up in front of him, able to knife through there and make the play.
He's got his man, T.J. Hockenson.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
I think that was good strategy there, trying to go right back to him after the last completion. But this time, the defense was all over him, and they got there to break that one up.
It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. Here's Rodgers to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. Back out is the AFC offense. And, Charles, we've seen almost 3 full quarters now, and neither offense can really get it going. Neither has hit the end zone, and neither side seemingly can make that. Well, the NFC pressure a little too much as they get home for the sack. Fletcher Cox able to collapse the pocket, get to him, and drop him for a loss of a yard. Another try after the first down sack. Mahomes going deep for Diggs. And that one incomplete. They tried to sneak in a deep ball with the clock running down, but to no avail as time will expire on this 3rd quarter of play. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Las Vegas. Welcome back, everybody, as we're about ready to rock and roll for the 4th and final quarter. Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. And all the way in for the touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 81 yards. And they're able to break the tie and move out in front here in this 4th quarter.
I think you can make a fair case for Tyreek Hill being the most explosive player in the NFL when he gets his hands on the football, and that was Exhibit A.
Well, in this league where coordinators worry so much about drawing up the right routes, blocking assignments, misdirections and stuff, they have these precise arrows and movements. Sometimes the best plays just come from the schoolyard where you look at your fastest guy and say, go long, go get it, big man.
Oh, and now they're going to fake it. And he is not going to make it. They stop him up short, and this will remain a 6-0 ball game. I thought the days of the fake extra point were numbered once they moved these kicks back to the 15. Apparently, I was mistaken.
Yeah, I was wondering who was ever going to try to do this. In fact, I quit wondering. I didn't think it would ever happen. Taking a fake from the 15-yard line to try and pick up an extra point, I didn't think anyone would ever call this.
So they went for 2 and failed. They didn't use him on the PAT, but now he boots this one away with a 6-0 lead.
And Patterson will not return it. It comes out to the 25. The NFC about ready to set up shop offensively.
And it's great to see the stars all out in one place, but in terms of football, what's really great to see is a very entertaining Pro Bowl as we are tied in the 4th quarter.
And how many of these guys thought going into this game, after a pretty easy week heading into it, that the pressure would ratchet up now and someone has to make a play, which means someone will have a play made against them and not have to live with that for the rest of the year.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Shotgun now for Rodgers.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down.
And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down. And here now the punter Fox as he sends this one away. Here now Roberts.
And that's a 48-yard punt with the coverage holding him to 3 on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Mahomes in the AFC now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line.
He'll start with a give to Henry.
And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Brings up 2nd and 4.
They'll run it again with Henry. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here, 3rd and 5.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word. Put it in bold. Here we go. Hasn't had his best game running the football here tonight, but, hey, that's a critical spot right there to convert on 3rd down, and he did it.
And the lights are shining just a little bit brighter right now, aren't they? You remember the beginning of the game? If he gets this 1st down, everybody's happy. That's cool. But here, that was critical, and it really energizes them.
4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So the AFC with the football as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off. They'll try and choose some clock with Henry. And able to get this one all the way up to about the 46-yard line. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ballgame. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. They'll try to run for the first with Henry. And he is going to have the 1st down, and that is going to suck the life right out of this crowd. Now the NFC going to use their 3rd and final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the 1st down. 10th carry now for Derrick Henry. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Ahead of the chains now, 2nd and 2. Now a handoff to Henry. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
A first down carry for Henry. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe to get a litall greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college, and how about in the NFL? All they had to do was take a knee and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time, ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
And they'll indeed take a knee.
Brandon, I can just tell you from experience, there's nothing like pitching a shutout on defense, but even more so when it's a tight game. I mean, when every defensive play is crucial and you don't give up any points, boy, they're going to feel awfully good about themselves after this one.
Yeah, exactly. The offense wasn't humming, but, hey, all they needed was you can't score 1 point. All they needed was 2 points. Well, you can't score 2 points on offense. All they needed was at least 3. They got what they needed.
They got what they needed. Exactly right.
So they hadn't called on him at all until this point, but he comes through here and buries one from long range.
Yeah, that's awfully impressive because usually kickers like to get that first one out of their system in the first quarter, sort of get them into the flow of the game, but to come in this late and knock it down from long distance, give him a lot of credit.
And Patterson not going to return this, so will come out to the 25.
So Aaron Rodgers and his offense down by 9, 25 seconds remaining. They've yet to dip the scoreboard tonight. Now they've got to do it twice late if they want a chance here. Back to throw, Rodgers. And his throw is going to be incomplete.
They've certainly had trouble unlocking this defense through 3.5 quarters, so I don't expect it to get any easier now. You know they're going to be sitting back and waiting on everything, and they force an incompletion there.
And this is not going to be what they needed. They get a few here, but now 3rd down as the clock runs.
They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. So, Charles, final thoughts on this AFC victory?
Bottom line, nobody appeared to be seriously hurt. That's the first thing we look for in this game. Well played, a lot of fun, a lot of excitement. I think that everyone's going to go home pretty happy, especially the AFC since they won the game.